Hey everyone, welcome in and diving into Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. We're tackling finances, building a secure future, and Ramsey's going to be our guide, so let's go.
Love it. What's great about Ramsey is how he blends practical steps with a real focus on shifting your money mindset.
Right, so he's got these famous 7 baby steps, but he's all about busting debt myths too. What are some of the biggest misconceptions about debt that people have?
One of the biggest. This idea that debt equals prosperity. You hear it everywhere. Use debt to invest, build credit with a loan, and so on. Ramsey says for most folks, debt's a roadblock, creates stress, limits choices.
He's got that gazelle escaping a cheetah analogy, right? It's not just speed, it's focused intensity, having a plan. That's where gazelle intensity comes in.
Exactly. Like a gazelle needs that energy burst. You need laser focus to ditch debt, channel your inner gazelle, tackle those finances head on.
Okay, how do we do that? Where's the starting line?
Ramsey's big on starting small to build momentum. Enter the debt snowball. List all debts, smallest to largest, interest rates. Ignore them for now.
Hold up. Even if there's a credit card at like 20% interest, car loan's only 5%, you hit that smaller credit card balance first.
You got it. Cool psychology behind it. Studies show our brains love achieving goals, even tiny ones.
Like leveling up in a game, each clear debt is a yes, I did it moment, then you're motivated to keep going.
Exactly. As you pay off each debt, roll that money you were using right into the next smallest debt's payment. Momentum builds, snowball effect.
Makes sense. But some people might be thinking, shouldn't I tackle the biggest debt first, save on interest long term?
Ramsey argues those quick wins are more valuable, psychologically, especially early on. He's seen too many get discouraged by a huge mortgage, student loan. They give up before real progress.
So it's about setting yourself up to win, not just mathematically, but emotionally too, needing that I can do this feeling.
Precisely. A system for long-haul motivation. But before the snowball even starts, Ramsey's got something else he considers crucial.
Emergency fund. Baby step 1, that financial cushion for unexpected stuff.
Right on. Remember Kim's story. $550 car repair wrecked her because she didn't even have a small emergency fund.
Then you've got George and Sally diligently doing the Total Money Makeover, healthy emergency fund. Same $550 blip on their radar.
Exactly. Having that buffer turns a crisis into an inconvenience. Start with $1,000 just to cover those smaller but still annoying Murphy moments.
Okay, so starter emergency fund, fired up about the debt snowball. What's the next stop on the Total Money Makeover roadmap?
This is where Ramsey gets into thinking long-term. You've got that immediate safety net. Now it's time to build a solid foundation for the future.
And that's baby step 2, right? Finishing up your full emergency fund.
You got it. 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses tucked away in an easy-to-access account. Protection against the bigger what-if scenarios.
Like losing a job, medical emergency, those can really derail your finances if you're not prepared.
Precisely. He also points out that the amount you need can vary based on your risk level. Self-employed might want a bigger buffer than someone with a stable 9 to 5.
Makes sense. You mentioned accessible accounts, so no stashing this emergency fund in a retirement account with early withdrawal penalties.
He's very clear about that. This money needs to be liquid. Get your hands on it fast, no hassle. Now, with that safety net in place, then you can really start thinking about building long-term wealth.
Which brings us to baby step 4, investing. This is where it gets exciting, making your money work for you.
This is where Ramsey goes beyond surface-level advice. He doesn't just say, go invest. He digs into options like mutual funds, the power of diversification.
Okay, hold on. For those new to investing, what are mutual funds and why are they so great?
Imagine a giant buffet. Instead of piling your plate with just 1 or 2 things, you take small portions of lots of different foods. That's kind of what a mutual fund is. It's a basket of stocks or bonds, spreading your risk.
So instead of all your eggs in one basket, hoping for the best, you're spreading them out across a bunch of different investments. And Ramsey specifically likes those growth stock mutual funds, right?
Right. These funds focus on companies expected to grow faster than the overall market. He believes they offer the best shot at long-term growth.
And he's got that example of the power of compound interest, right? Joe and Susie average.
Yes. Average couple, average incomes, lifestyle. Relatable. Even with modest incomes, investing 15% from 30 to 70, they end up with nearly $8 million.
$8 million, seriously. Small, consistent contributions, especially starting early, can grow like crazy over time.
For sure. And that's not even factoring in employer matches or salary increases. So if you can do more than 15% or your income grows, That final number could be even bigger.
This is what Ramsey calls the pinnacle point, right? Where your money's working harder than you are. You've built this snowball of savings and investments, generating enough passive income to cover expenses, and now it's time to enjoy some freedom.
Like reaching the top of the mountain, coasting downhill from there. But before we get too caught up in that downhill coast, Ramsey would say there are still a few more key steps to tackle on this total money makeover journey.
So we've laid the groundwork, right? Emergency fund, check. Building long-term wealth through investing, check. What's Ramsey's next move?
Now he wants you to focus on a biggie for a lot of people.
Really?
College. Baby step 5.
College. This is where Ramsey really shakes things up, challenging what people think they need for a good education.
Totally. He's not anti-college, but he's anti-debt for college. Knowledge is the goal, not just a diploma, and there are smarter ways to make it happen.
Right, like finding scholarships, working part-time, even those underserved area programs, government helps with tuition, you give back with service.
Resourcefulness is key. Explore everything, instead of defaulting to student loans that can take forever to pay off.
Being strategic about education funding, just like you are with your overall finances.
Exactly. Now, with retirement and college savings tackled, it's time for a huge milestone, paying off that mortgage. Baby step 6.
Oh yeah, the dream for so many homeowners, owning their home outright. No more monthly payments, just pure home ownership bliss.
And Ramsey believes it's doable, even if it feels daunting. Channel that gazelle intensity from the debt snowball and hit that mortgage hard with any extra income.
He even tells that story about Luke and his wife buying their first home outright, young, by living super frugally, saving like crazy, found an insanely cheap $250 a month apartment.
Talk about dedication. Their story proves that with a clear vision and a willingness to sacrifice, amazing things can happen. And once you hit that milestone, debt-free homeownership, that's where you really start reaping the rewards.
It's like reaching the summit, right? Taking in the view, feeling that sense of accomplishment.
Exactly. But it's not the end of the journey. Ramsey's final baby step is all about what comes next. Baby step 7, building wealth and giving back. This is where you get to enjoy the fruits of all that hard work.
It's like leveling up to a whole new level of financial freedom, right? No longer just surviving, you're thriving.
You've got options now, choices you didn't have before. And Ramsey talks about 3 key things to do with your money at this stage: having fun, investing, and giving back.
That sounds like the ultimate trifecta. You've earned it, been disciplined, and now it's time to enjoy the rewards while making a difference.
He's all about finding that balance. Remember the story of the monkey and the jar of nuts?
Oh yeah, the one where the monkey's hand gets stuck trying to pull out too many nuts?
Exactly. It's about not clinging too tightly to money. Enjoy the wealth you've built, but also find joy in giving back.
So it's not just about accumulating wealth for the sake of it, it's about using it to live a more meaningful life, aligning your spending with your values, making a positive impact.
And the amazing thing is that Ramsey's principles have helped so many people achieve this kind of freedom, people from all walks of life.
It's inspiring to think about folks who were drowning in debt, single parents barely making ends meet, even people who had gone through bankruptcy multiple times.
And yet they turned things around, built a brighter future, all because they committed to those baby steps.
It really shows the power of a solid plan, the right mindset. Ramsey's not about judging where you've been. It's about empowering you to take control, create the future you deserve.
And that's where the mindset stuff comes in, right? Not just the steps, but facing those beliefs and fears that might be holding you back.
So as we're thinking about our own total money makeover, the question becomes, what are my internal obstacles? What do I need to overcome to get to that true financial freedom?
Yeah, those deep-seated beliefs, things we tell ourselves about money, they can really trip us up.
What are some common ones you've seen? The things people believe that might not even be true?
Oh, so many. I'm just bad with money, or wealth is for other people, not me. Maybe they grew up with financial stress, so they internalize those beliefs.
So their past is shaping their present, even if they don't realize it. It's like they're running the same old program in their heads.
Exactly. And then there's fear, right? Fear of risk, fear of failure. Keeps people from making smart moves.
Like too afraid to invest, even if it means missing out on growth, or too scared to start a business, even if it's their passion.
Absolutely. Ramsey's big on facing those fears head on. Says it's essential to break free.
So how do you tackle those internal roadblocks? How do you actually change your mindset about money?
Awareness is the first step. Pay attention to your thoughts. What are you saying to yourself about money? Catch those negative beliefs.
It's like becoming aware of that inner voice, the one that's been running the show without us even realizing it.
Exactly. Once you hear those limiting beliefs, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this even true? What evidence do I have? Often it's just fear talking, not reality.
So it's about swapping out those old tapes, replacing them with something more empowering.
Exactly. Surround yourself with the right people too. People who uplift and support your financial goals.
Instead of that voice saying, I'm no good with money, it's, I'm learning, I'm growing, I can do this.
Right. Shifting from scarcity to abundance, from fear to possibility. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Find support. A spouse, friend, mentor, financial advisor.
Like having your own personal cheering section, right? People who believe in you.
Absolutely. And this journey to financial freedom, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. There will be bumps, but the key is to stay committed, don't give up.
Ramsey talks about his own setbacks too, right? Millionaire by his late 20s, then lost it all, had to rebuild.
Exactly. He's been there, learned those tough lessons about resilience, makes his advice that much more powerful.
He's not just talking the talk, he's walked the walk. Come out stronger.
And that's why people connect to them. He offers hope, empowerment. No matter what your finances look like now, you can change them.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover, what's the big takeaway? What do we want our listeners to remember?
Financial freedom is possible. It takes time, effort, discipline. But with Ramsey's baby steps, a mindset of abundance, you can achieve amazing things.
It's about taking control, building that secure future, and ultimately living a more fulfilling life. So are you ready to unleash your inner gazelle?
Every journey starts with a single step. And remember, live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else.
Powerful words to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another insightful exploration.